particularly this weekend when temperatures are tumbling. You know, the country's freezing, there's snow and disruption everywhere. Last week, the NHS told people to stay at home. You told pensioners, many of whom have lost their winter fuel payments, that they should turn the heating on and layer up. I mean, that raised some people's eyebrows. What do you say to people today? Well,
it'd be irresponsible of me not to repeat the health advice that the NHS has given people. And I would just say on the winter fuel allowance, let's not forget the Chancellor did protect winter fuel allowance for the poorest pensioners. She's kept in place measures like the Warm Homes discount so that people receiving support can turn on the heating over winter. And I know that not all of the decisions we've taken in the last 6 months have been popular. The reason why we've been prepared to take unpopular decisions is to get the country out of the massive hole we're in so that people see in the longer term we've made the right decisions to get Britain back on track. So obviously we're talking about the NHS this morning. You could have the Justice Secretary here and she'd be talking about overcrowded prisons and the courts backlog. The Education Secretary would talk about the lack of teachers in our school and kids turning up too hungry to learn. The Home Secretary would talk about the lack of neighbourhood policing to catch criminals. On every single front at the moment, on every single public service that matters. And, of course, for people at home, the pressure in their pockets, their wages, their bills. The country's left in a massive mess. Of course it's going to take time to turn around. And we have had to make some decisions that we know have been unpopular because we believe they're the right decisions. And let me tell you, people would not thank us down the line if we just did short-term, sticking plaster politics, government by gimmick of the type we've seen for years now that have left our country worse off.
But in the last 6 months, you and your colleagues have sat in that red chair and said, we have to take difficult decisions, we have to take difficult decisions. You spent ages telling how terrible things are. But the country's looked at what you're doing and thought, well, actually, that looks pretty terrible too. I mean, your poll ratings have really fallen away. What do you have to do a better job at? Explaining what you're doing? You haven't been explaining it well enough, maybe.
The only thing that really matters in the end is delivery. At the next election, people will be thinking, is the country better off now? We're in a better place now than we were when Labour came to power. And we're doing everything we can to make sure the answer to that question is an emphatic yes. We were honest before the election about the fact that change takes time, that the challenges are enormous. We were criticised, actually, with our manifesto because we were very clear about the promises we were making, so they were promises we could keep.
You didn't tell anyone you were going to put employers' national insurance up.